Today we continue with part 7 of our CQRS with Axon framework tutorial, and today we are going to see how we can display data on the grid control. Remember that this is where we are at this point. We've been able to display two panels, the issue panel and redeem panel, but we should be able to have a grid view here so that we'll be able to see the list of transactions that has been carried out. So how we are going to achieve this, as you see, we have the step-by-step. So I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel if you've not subscribed, and also go back to review parts 1 all the way to part 6. In this part, we will implement the grid view and populate it with the data. We will consider the following subheadings, how we are going to achieve this: create a grid, refresh it after the changes, and add grid to the layout. So we will first create a method that returns a grid. Remember in the previous, when we are building the GUI, we created a method that returns the issue panel, created another method that returns the redeem panel. In this case, we are going to create a third method that now returns a grid view. Inside this method, we'll create new grid and add 3 columns to the grid. And finally, we set the grid's data provider property to our data provider. We created this in the previous part when we talked about the summary projection. Then after this, we'll go to the init method and create a vertical layout. I can't remember if I did it before now. In this vertical layout, we'll first add the original command bar, which is a horizontal layout. Then we also add the grid that we have created. All right. So let's go to the GUI to create the grid function, the function that returns the grid. So let me just close other files at this point. Let me just go down all the way to this place and write this function. So I'm going to say create a method named summary grid that returns a cat summary. So I'm going to say public summary grid, a method public grid of cat summaries public grid cat summary, and the name of this method is going to be summary grid, and yeah, so inside this method I'm going to create a new grid. So I'm going to say grid cat summary grid equal to new grid cat summary as well here. All right. So the next thing, add 3 columns to the grid and caption it ID, initial balance, and remaining balance. The syntax to add column to the grid is shown. So the first column, I'm going to say grid dot add column, and it's going to get data from the cat summary ID. Okay, so dot set caption is going to be ID, and that is fine. Add another column, so I'm going to say grid dot add column cat summary, and this time is going to get initial balance cat summary. Okay, just get initial balance. What's happening here? Get initial balance, and the caption is going to be initial balance. And finally, I'm going to add the third column. Actually, I can copy it and paste, but sometimes it is good to use the long way so that you'll be able to get remaining balance at this time. You'll be able to improve in your programming skills. So I'm actually teaching you the way you could do things if you are a learner, because I'm a teacher and you are learning. So this is what you should do. Not really how I write my own programs, but for you, recommend follow the instructions and type it out yourself instead of going down to copy. I'm going to say remaining balance. Alright, so we've set up the grid with 3 columns. set the data provider property of the grid to the data provider. So I'm going to say grid.set data provider, if I'm not mistaken. It's going to be grid.set data provider, and the data provider is going to be data provider. All right. Okay, so then I'm going to return the grid. So return the grid, return grid. Okay, so hopefully everything is fine. So we can actually set the size of this grid. After creating it, let's set the size to be full. Grid.set size to be full length, all right? And that is fine. So this is the complete code for the grid. You can have it here. As you can see, it's clearer where I'm writing it here in IntelliJ. So the next part says refresh the grid after the changes. So when we add a new gift card, if we issue a new gift card, then we are going to refresh this grid to update immediately. So anytime a change is made, gift card is issued or redeemed, we need to refresh the grid view. One way to do that is to add a closed listener to the notification message so that anytime the notification closes, the grid is refreshed. So to do that, for each of the notification message, we simply append add closed listener and then refresh the data provider. So the first message that we have in the redeem panel, so this redeem panel, go to this notification dot show here and simply add dot refresh dot add closed listener. So let me just add it in a new line. Dot add closed listener, and I'm going to say X data provider dot refresh all. I think this should be fine. And I'm going to do the same thing in this place. For this notification right here, I'm going to say dot data provider, sorry, dot add closed listener, and the closed listener is going to be X data provider dot refresh all. And finally, I think we have another notification. This time in the error message, we also can also add a dot add closed listener and data provider dot refresh all, and that is great. All right, so we now need to do some layout stuff. We need to add the grid to the layout. So let's go to the layout. So in this case, we are going to go back to the init method in step 1. An init method just close to the top of the code here. So here we have the init method here. Yeah. So here we created a horizontal layout. We created the commands, created horizontal layout, created a vertical layout, and we added the vertical layout, the horizontal layout inside the vertical layout. So when we say layout that add component commands, we're actually adding horizontal layout inside the vertical layout. So we can actually add another thing inside the vertical layout. So basically, so before we set the content of the horizontal of the vertical layout, I'm going to just make some room here. So here we are going to, let's see. So let's see. Okay, so have vertical layout, new vertical layout, set size full, add commands, and in addition to the commands, I'm going to just add the summary grid inside as well. So inside the vertical layout, we have a horizontal layout that contains 2 panels, and we have a summary grid that spans two panels. And let's just run it. I hope everything should be fine, and let's see what we have. So let me just save everything, and let's just run it. So I'm going to just click on run at this point, run. So if everything runs perfectly well, we should be able to see something like this. Let's see. We should be able to see something like this. So a grid view like this is what you're going to see. Exactly like this. So let's just wait for a couple of seconds. Kotlin connecting. And while we are waiting for it to run, I'd like to mention that the next part is going to be, we'll be talking about profiles, and that's very interesting. It's something you don't want to miss. So how do we split an application into different parts? And each of these parts can actually run independently, just like a different application. So that's the approach we are going to be using in building these microservices. Another way is actually to split this application into different code bases, but let's take the easy way of using Spring profiles. I've talked about it in a different lesson, so you can review it by looking at the link in the description box of this video to learn about Spring profiles and get up to speed with it before you follow the part A. But it's also gonna be easy for you to follow. So let's see what we've got here. So connected to the Axon server 8124, creating everything, Tomcat started, everything went perfectly well. All right, so let's go do the test. Let's just go do the test. So I'm gonna visit. I think I already have it open right here, so I'm gonna come here just to check, make sure everything is fine. Application is up and running. Let's wait for this to refresh. All right. Yeah, everything is okay. So I'm gonna hit refresh on this one just to make sure everything is fine. Okay, so there's remote message handling, could not prepare statement caused by column C, not found, Okay, so in this case, we got something wrong in our query. So let's go to the summary projection here. Select C from, okay, so I think it should be select star. Select star from cat summary C. I think that should be select star from cat summary C. And select counts. So let's just check. Let me just make sure I got it correctly. But I think it should be select star. I'm going to go back to part 6. All right. So the query is here, select C from cat summary C. So so it's actually should be select star, I think. So select star. So that should be a typo. So I'm going to say select star from cat summary C order by C.id. Select C cat summary C order by C.id. Select cat summary C order by C. Okay, perfect. I think this should be fine. So I'm going to just save everything, save all, and then let's just rerun this. Let me stop it and then rerun it again. Select count star from cat summary C. Okay, this is fine. Select star from cat summary C order by C.id. Okay, this should also be fine. So, all right, so let's go back. Let's close this and then hit the refresh button. But for now, you can see that the section was called token star expected unexpected token here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, let me just open this project where I have it working perfectly, and let's see exactly what the code is. If I didn't, I think I got it correctly. All right, so so this should be on the summary projection. So the say select C from cat summary C. Select count C from cat summary C. So here select C from cat summary C, order by C.id. So that's one thing. So select C, lowercase c from cat summary C, order by c.id. I think that should be it. And the next one should be select C, count C from card summary C. All right. Okay, so let's go again. I'm going to save everything and let's just stop it and then we run it again. So I think we are going to get it this time. Let's see. Select C from cat summary C, order by C.id should be fine. And let's see. Yeah. All right. I think everything worked fine. Tomcat started at port 8080. Let's just go back and close this. And just refresh the page. Perfect. So you can see everything worked fine. So you can see our grid view displayed right here. So if I create a new issue a new gift card, let's say so issue 100 for select submit and success, and yeah. So you can see the last one we issued. If we actually redeem the same card, let's redeem for 70. Sorry, for 70, and I'm gonna submit, and you can see this reduces to 30. So at this point, we've completed the summary projection displaying the grid view on the GUI. And in the next part, we are going to now focus on using Spring Profiles to split this application into 3 parts. I'd like to thank you for viewing. Remember to like and share the video, and leave me a comment to let me know how you feel or if you have any challenges at all. I remain Kindson the Tech Pro, and I see you in the next part.